and things like that through discharge. So
Sure. So what do you believe in? What kind of energy would you like to see happen?
Well, I fully recognize that, the United States is not going to just move off of oil and gas overnight. So I propose, just like Joe Biden was proposing, that we continue to drill, we continue to produce oil and gas in the United States. We move toward green energy. We move toward renewable energy, solar panels, wind turbines, water energy, perhaps even nuclear energy, and get away from the oil and gas over time. Not just like that, but over time we gradually move away. That's what I think.
We'll run out, though. That's the thing. We'll run out of oil and gas one day. No time in our lifetime, me and you. But at the same time, I mean, you got to think to yourself, I mean, wouldn't you consider a pipeline going underneath the ground that is covered up over time, and you see trees and stuff right of ways, whatever. You look at these solar panels. I think, where was I driving? I was driving through North Carolina one day, man. We had a job going on up there, and some sort of, I don't know, dog making plant. Is a terrible deal, horrible experience. Anyway, I saw miles and miles and miles of solar panels. Why is it that is less destructive to the environment? Something that you're putting above ground, something that's taking away homes from animals, because all this stuff used to be cleared. I mean, acres, thousands and hundreds of thousands of acres of solar panels where animals used to live at. That used to be a forest, as opposed to just a line of a pipeline. Why is that such a bad deal?
Yeah, I mean, so I don't think that anybody's arguing that anything is a perfect solution, right? There's never going to be some energy gathering resource or trick where it won't come with some cost. But overall, the net positive of like a field of solar panels versus a bunch of pipelines that could leak, could cause environmental disaster and cost billions to clean up, and then of course hurt the wildlife and the groundwater around it. We recognize that there's far more positives with a field of solar panels than pipelines. And also, a lot of these solar panel fields are not built in areas where there are a bunch of trees. Like, we have a lot of open field in the United States where of course animals live in fields, but not to the degree of like, we're just cutting down all these trees, cutting down these forests, and making a bunch of solar panels to sit right there. So it's just different. I think there's obviously more positive with the solar panels. What about, okay, so this is my next question. I've kind of seen this rhetorically. I mean, I think it might be a little hypocritical that what people, I would say, I'm not going to say liberal. I don't like using the word liberals. I'd rather just use the word Democrats. But anyway, they're all, before Elon and Trump are doing whatever they're doing right now, they were all pro-Tesla people. Let's go Tesla. Let's go Tesla. We got to get on the green cars, energy reproducing cars. And now then, we find what is supposedly fraud in the federal levels and all these things. They hate Tesla cars all of a sudden. Why is that? Why is it they can just switch sides? We love Elon Musk because he makes us, these electric cars, and we all feel safer without, no emissions. But then all of a sudden he's trying to do better for U.S. Or, I mean, I would think he would try to. I mean, I don't see why the guy would want to hurt anybody. He's the richest man in the world, so why would he do it? But anyway, my point is that he doesn't need a funnel money into his pocket either. I mean, hell, he's got half of America buying cars from him right now. Why is it that people would just switch over from saying, "Oh, we love Elon because he does this for us," to, "Oh, now we hate him"? The liberals who liked Tesla cars didn't like them because Elon Musk was making them. We like them because they're electric vehicles. So, but we're not married to Tesla. Democrats and people who like electric cars are not married to Tesla. So if the owner of Tesla does something bad, we're not going to support that person anymore. Elon Musk is doing bad things. He's hurting the United States. So we're saying, hey, why don't we invest in electric vehicles from like Ford or Chevy or other car companies here in the United States? Which don't really hardly make them anymore because they realize that there's not much. No, it kind of is. Ford has canceled a lot of their lines of vehicles because people aren't buying them anymore. You know why some of these companies have canceled? No, I actually don't. Why would you tell me? The Biden administration gave them a bunch of money to build these cars, and the Trump administration is saying they're going to cancel them.
Right? Yeah, so that's actually the Trump administration's fault. Yeah. You know that, right? Secondly, if you want to reference the electric vehicles, right? If you see a Cybertruck, most likely they're an insane MAGA lunatic. Let's just be honest here. Like, I live in LA. Like, I see MAGA stickers on fucking Cybertruck and stuff. I feel like left-wing individuals don't engage with Tesla anymore because they know what Elon Musk supports.
Okay, well, so you're saying that just because he's dirty means that, or just because we think he's dirty means that no longer we can have, we're gonna, we're gonna have.
We'll engage with renewable energies. We just don't want to engage with his renewable energy.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, that's a good way to put it, I guess. Still a little off-putting. I mean, I still don't see why, because I mean, as just a plain human being. I mean, it goes back to the Carhartt. When Carhartt went. What did they do? They supported LGBTQ all of a sudden. I believe it was, or some, I forgot what it was. But anyway, they supported this terrible deal. And, a lot of what I would consider my Republican friends and everything, we still supported Carhartt because we liked their clothes. We didn't really look against them for what they were doing. We don't agree with them.
Wait, Steven, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Do you like Elon?
I've never met the guy. I think I like him. I mean, I think what he's trying to do is.
How do you feel about his salute?
I've looked at it a few times, and I'm going to sit here and tell you that I think that everybody is going to do their own little weird, twinky, funky thing. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I believe he automatically believes in Hitler. But at the same time,
dude, do you agree that it was a salute, an intentional salute?
And you did it twice. I couldn't tell you. I really don't want to say it was or it wasn't. Now, I'm going to say no. I'm just going to go ahead and say no. I don't think
no.
We haven't seen it. Have we seen him do it again?
Yes, he did it twice. Yeah. You agreed he did it twice. Not only did he do it twice, but
one time. But has he done it since then?
I don't think that means anything. He did it twice purposefully. The reason why I know this is because he wasn't just giving his heart out to the crowd. Because I posted this on Twitter. He has given his heart out to the crowd before in the past, and he goes like this.
Sure.
He doesn't go the fucking crazy thing.
Yeah.
Sure. That was obviously a salute, right? If you don't know that's a salute, I honestly I think less of you. And that's not to be rude. That's just to be totally honest.
No, I mean, your opinion's your opinion. You're entitled to that. Sure, go for it. I mean, but I just don't see how the man's trying, even if he saluted, whatever the man believes in, if he tried to do that, if he didn't, if you believe he did it or if he didn't, I don't think that he's trying to sit here and just murder millions of people as far as their, jobs and stuff. Yes, I think that there's way too much federal spending going on. I mean, if it's true that he uncovered, what was it, $40 billion? Don't you think it's a good thing that if he did find that and it's true, that he's returning 20% of it to Americans? I mean, $8,000 in everybody's bank account. Wouldn't that be great?
That's not $8,000 in everyone's bank account. Can you do that?
Well, that's what they were saying would be the checks separate to each American.
No, if you have $40 billion, I just want to let you know.
I know the math.
That's nowhere near enough to give you $8,000 to every American. Every American, 340 million Americans.
Yeah. Also, I just want to be clear that Elon Musk has claimed that they've cut or found or saved whatever, like $55 billion. But so far, the Doge website only accounts for around 16 billion of that. They have no documentation for the rest of the money.
So what do you think about the war right now between Russia?
Between Russia and Ukraine? What do you mean? What do I think about it? Just generally, or?
Well, let's say, do you think that it's kind of hard to talk about Trump because I already know you don't like what he's doing. But at the same time, do you think what he's trying to do is a decent way of saying, hey, this needs to stop?
No. Blocking out our European allies and Ukraine and not including them at the negotiating table is asinine. And that's what Trump's doing. I mean, he the other day called Zelensky a dictator. Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, duly elected, by the way, he called him a dictator and says nothing about Vladimir Putin, who has unalived his political opposition, just straight out removed people from races or just had them jailed. I mean, it's remarkable how pro-Putin he is. And we have conservatives in Congress. We have conservatives who used to serve in government saying wow, we've had presidents since Reagan who recognize the threat that Russia poses. And now Donald Trump is basically undoing decades of that policy. It's fucking crazy. That's what it is.
So you don't think that what Biden did was a bad thing, sending as much money as he did, trying to support a war that we weren't even involved in? I mean, that's a lot of freaking money being sent over to states that, I mean, we're not. Have we ever?
Do you think the U.S. should not have supported Ukraine to defend them against Russia?
No, because it wasn't our fight. I don't think that we should have helped them.
Do you know what the Budapest Memorandum is?
No.
So we signed an agreement with Ukraine that if they gave up their nuclear weapons, that we would defend them.
Okay. Well, then that helps out. But do you think that in total aid that was necessary, that we sent so much freaking taxpayer money just to watch lives get killed? I mean, honestly,
wait.
Why couldn't we come to a negotiation?
So again, you would prefer that Russia controls the area?
At the point of killing billion or millions of people, at that point, you may as well just take it. I mean, who's the bigger bear here? You got to look at it that way too. I mean, I look at it.
Okay, so then I have a question. You're in World War II, right? Do you let Germany take Poland?
No, but
Why
at the
not?
same time, you have to look at what Germany was doing to people compared to what Russia's done. I mean, you're talking about putting
Tell me.
gas chambers, man.
We didn't know that at the time, did we?
Yeah, we did. We were educated on it. I mean, we had.
Wait, so you're saying
we had drones. I mean, we had.
Wait, so you're saying in 1939 we knew that?
Yeah, we had the technology.
I don't think in 1939 we knew that.
So you don't think that there were no Americans over there reporting back to about what's happening in the
Not
war?
in 1939. No, not to my knowledge. If you'd
So we
like to
didn't
provide
have
me
the
any
info.
evidence that in 1939 we knew that, sure, I'd like to see. But I don't
Well,
think we
if
knew
I
that
could-
at the time.
if I had time to do
Vex,
my
thank you so much
research, I
for
would try to
$5.
I would try to prove you wrong if I had time to do the research, but unfortunately I don't. But I guess my next thing is, right now with the war, what it seems like Trump is doing, I'm not going to say I agree with or disagree with him right now, but at the same time, I don't think that it's such a bad thing that Trump's trying to make an alliance out of Russia and pull them away from China. Because could you imagine what Russia and China could do to us together? Because I mean, if you pull one bigger bear away from the other, then you're looking at a stronger alliance altogether.
Yeah, what
And then
happens
we
when it pulls
say,
us
okay,
away
look,
from our
Russia,
allies, though?
What's that?
What happens when us getting closer to Russia pulls us away from our allies, though?
Well,
That's what Donald Trump's doing. Actually, Donald Trump's pulling us up against our way from our allies anyway. He said he wants to use the military, or he said he might use the military to take Panama and Greenland. He also said that he wants to use economic coercion to make Canada the 51st state. These are threats to our allies. Him doing tariff threats on our allies, that's threats to our allies. This destabilizes not only relations in the context of North America, but also between North America and Europe.
So you don't think he's just putting his foot down, saying, "Look, we're tired of losing money to y'all."
No.
Getting ripped off. Then, well, I mean, with all's happening, like you got to think about the trade between China and us. I mean, if what they're telling us is true about how it's being traded, and Biden even said, hey, China's not really doing a very good job against us, but there's not much we can do. You don't think that us losing all that money that could be spent here to help
again, what specifically can Trump do to better the conditions for trade?
I'm not, like I said,
do you think tariffs on our allies better the conditions for trade?
I mean, if it puts them in a position to where they're forced to help us, yes.
How are they forced to help us?
Well, Canada sent down all those troops to the border to help us out, did they not? Because
that agreement that you're talking about was from December.
Yeah, they already had 8,500 troops at the border under Joe Biden.
Yeah, that's not what Kamala. I mean, that's not what the report said.
That's according to the Canadian government website. The reason I know this, I made a video on it all the way back when Donald Trump announced this deal. But yeah, they already had 8,500 troops. They were only increasing it by 1,500.
But that was at the end of his campaign, was it not?
What was at the end of what was?
Putting the troops down and making sure that we had better security, because it seemed
Canada
like
already had those troops there before the campaign really got into full swing.
So what do you think about immigration then? Do you believe that they should have these what do you call it, refugee centers, or these cities where you can seek asylum?
You don't seek asylum in cities in particular. You seek asylum in countries. So do I think that people should be able to seek asylum in the United States? Yes, because it's legal under international law, but also American law. And I think that we should provide a safe haven for people who are being oppressed or targeted in their home countries based on a protected trade.
Absolutely, but do you think
Wait, Stephen, I have a question. If people are seeking asylum from Mexico, where should they stay while they're trying to seek asylum in the United States?
That's a really good question. I don't know much about Mexico, a safe place of it to be.
Wait, no, we're saying that if someone is seeking asylum from Mexico, which there are some people who do seek asylum from Mexico, and they do get accepted here in the United States, you're saying if it is the case that it's remain in Mexico, that they should stay in Mexico.
No.
Right?
I see what you're saying now. Okay,
and I don't think that should be true. And if we don't think that they should stay in Mexico, well, then couldn't people who have invalid asylum claims just claim that they're from Mexico while trying to get in the United States in order to illegally get here?
I don't think that would be the right way to deal with it. No.
No. Again, if they're coming through an invalid asylum claim, they can just claim that they're from Mexico. And then while the claim is being processed for asylum, they can stay in the United States, meaning that they would just be able to bypass all of the things to be able to get into the country, so they could get into the country through the asylum process, right? And then stay on an invalid asylum claim. So you're not actually disincentivizing people to come here with an invalid asylum claim. The only way that you would do that is by making the process faster, by going through the United States claims faster, by increasing the amount of immigration judges, right? Making the system faster.
Well, sure. I mean, I can see how that would be beneficial, but at the same time, I mean, I actually went up to Aura, Colorado, and I saw some of these gangs that were up there. These mean people, really, really bad. No, it's serious, because I've even had a deal, and this is kind of a life-changing deal for me. I was driving home one day. I was in the middle of Texas. I was in Midland, and I was driving home, coming east on I-20, and I stopped over to pull and get some gas, and all of a sudden this white bus came up behind me, and all these guys jumped out and looked like they were about to take my shit. I mean, they looked like they were about to rock my shit, and the only choice I had to do was spray diesel fuel all over them, hop in my truck, and run like a coward, because I mean, these guys had knives, guns, everything, scary as shit. And for one moment, my whole entire life, I was 21 years old. I'm 24 now. And I was like, holy shit, what is going on? Like, what is actually happening right now? Well, who are these people? And then I kind of did my research, and I'm not going to say who I thought that they were, but at the same time, if they were illegal immigrants, no, I don't think that they should be here. I think that they need to go back to where they were. Now,
I don't know why you'd be making a claim of whether or not you think they're here, documented or not. That's a really weird assumption that you're making there.
Well, I don't want to sit here and tell you that they were immigrants if they weren't.
Undocumented immigrants, let alone if we want to talk about that, right, are multiple times less likely to commit violent crime, drug crime, and property crime in the United States.
Even then,
the natural-born U.S. citizens.
And even then, like, if Parker and I and Democrats generally agree that if somebody is here undocumented and they're committing crimes, they should not be here any longer.
Yeah.
Or they should be
good. I'm glad,
convicted in the United States and charged and deported or remain here. Like, that is what the Democratic Party believes. We just think that there should be a pragmatic approach to immigration that's not just scorched earth and we kick everybody out. Whereas Donald Trump just wants that extreme response. He wants to go as far right as possible and not look at, well, maybe in certain circumstances it makes sense to offer a pathway to citizenship so these people can become legal, and in certain instances it doesn't.
Well, sure.
Stephen, would you let someone legally immigrate into the country if they were a convicted criminal held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman?
No, absolutely not.
If you wouldn't let someone legally immigrate to the country if they were a convicted criminal held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman, why do you put harsher or stricter standards on who's allowed to become like a citizen or an immigrate here compared to who's allowed to be president of the United States? Because I don't think all citizens are qualified to be president. There are lots of infants that are citizens that are not qualified to be president. So why do you have harsher qualifications for who's allowed to be a citizen here?
I mean, I'm going to look at it this way. I think we should do thorough background checks. I think we should do, thorough, let's look into what they've done in their life. Let's look at their employment records. Let's look at what they can produce for the American, society.
I understand, but I asked you a specific question. I'm saying you are looking through their criminal background, right? Okay. And you see they're a convicted criminal held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman. You said you do not let them legally immigrate into the country. What I'm telling you then is that you put harsher and stricter standards on who's allowed to legally immigrate here and become a citizen compared to who's allowed to be president of the United States, which is not how you typically designate who should be president, because you say typically you need harsher qualifications on who can become president rather than who can just be a citizen, because not all citizens are qualified to be president.
I mean, I agree. I'm at the point now, I don't think anybody is qualified to be a president. I think we do the best we can with who we have and pray that it all works out, because we really are putting our lives in their hands at the very last. We're thinking to ourselves, these are the people who control our lives.
Well, let me ask you this. Like, what if somebody was, I don't know, like a district attorney for a lot of years, and then like an attorney general of a state, and then a senator from a state, and then even vice president, and had worked in politics or law just generally their entire career and has been in public service and been giving back? Like, would you say that person is qualified to be president?
I think that they could definitely stand a chance being up there in the top stages, absolutely. But at the same time, I would look at their record of what they've done. No, I don't. I actually completely disagree with Kamala. I can't find a single thing that makes me sit here and say, wow, I think she should be the one. I think she's a great lady, sure. I mean, I think that she's tried her best. But at the same time, what my sources are coming from is the fact that she's allowed all these people out of prison. She is, I mean, there's all kinds of things.
Wait, so to clarify, you wouldn't vote for someone who released violent criminals into our society?
No, I wouldn't vote for someone who released.
Okay, well, so Donald Trump pardoned people who pled guilty and admitted to violently assaulting police officers on January 6th. DJ Rodriguez drove a stun gun into the neck of a police officer, and Donald Trump pardoned him. Now, he released them into the country. Please explain to me why you think that you would still vote for him, or that you think he's a good candidate, or you don't regret your vote, given that this is true.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't think that he was right about pardoning that person. But what he did what the guy did. What'd you say? Did he stun somebody? Tase somebody?
Police
Stun
officer,
gun to the neck.
A police officer? Well, my question is, what was the police officer doing to antagonize that? Was he just doing his job, or was he fighting back? Was this guy defending himself?
He was just doing his job.
So, but
that was a crazy assumption, by the way.
Oh yeah. Why like
someone driving a stun gun into the neck of a police officer? His assumption was, what was the police officer doing to antagonize him on January 6th? By the way, when they were raiding the Capitol.
Well, I mean, I didn't know. You know, the guy could be beating the shit out of him, and he's just trying to defend himself at that point. I mean, at some point,
that is not something I typically. By the way, I just want to clarify. That's not typically something I hear from a Republican.
Well, I mean, it's kind of honest. If somebody's beating the shit out of you, Harry or Parker, are you going to defend?
That's not what happened.
Lay down.
I'm not. That's not what happened, though.
I'm saying
it was literally just them doing their job.
Okay, well then, no, I do not agree with what he did, pardoning that person.
So, do you not support him anymore?
I'm not going to say I don't support him. I'm just going to give it time and wait and see what happens. I mean,
but you just said that you wouldn't support somebody who let violent criminals out of jail.
I don't support a decision he made. There's a difference in supporting a person and supporting a decision.
No, you said that you would not support someone. No, you said that you wouldn't support a candidate and that you would regret it if it is the case that they literally release violent criminals into the country. We gave you an explicit example where Donald Trump released violent criminals into the country.
Has he done anything violent since then? Can we show that?
Wait, what? Why does he have to? Why do they have to do something violent since then in order for us to say that? Oh, that's just bad.
Because actions show who a person is.
Wait. Hold on.
You can't sit here and tell me that
actions like violent crimes. Actions like violent crimes.
If somebody killed somebody and then they served 1 day in prison and Donald Trump pardoned them, would your response be like, well, have they killed anybody since they were pardoned? Or would your response be like, oh, well, they should still be in prison?
I would think they'd still be in prison, but at the same time, I need to look at the reason. Them? Well, why? Okay, why did they kill them?
What the fuck?
It matters. So listen, Harry. It matters why you do things you do. Man. I mean, is that person's life in danger?
God, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
No, this person was convicted of unjustly killing somebody. No, like murder, right?
Well, sure. Okay. I still don't see. So
I mean, your argument was that have they done anything violent since then?
The person who I'm talking about, the specific person who attacked the police officer.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Your point is that, oh, this specific person who attacked the police officer was pardoned. Have they done anything violent since then as a justification for them being pardoned? I'm saying if you apply that to other scenarios, like somebody killing somebody, murdering somebody, you probably not hold that same logic. So I don't understand why you're doing it with people from January 6th and, Donald Trump.
You fuckers are smart. I'll give you that much. I mean, y'all are good damn debaters. I've seen y'all on fucking news and shit. Y'all are pretty impressive. I'll give you that
Thanks,
much.
Man.
But no.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, sure. But no, I mean, I'm going to sit here and tell you a lot of the shit you're saying is kind of go over in my head too a little bit. Fuck, I had a long day at work. Anyway, no. Shit, man. You're fucking my mind a little bit right now. But no. Let me get back to my point. Let me get back on my train here for a second. I don't think that because somebody did one violent crime and then the person who saw that crime and said, okay, why did this happen? What happened here? Should this be, a deal where we're going to imprison this man for 30 years because of one thing that he did? And then I'm going to look back at the person who judged on that person and say, okay, should I judge that person off of what he did? You following me right now?
I understand. You're like preaching forgiveness, yeah?
In a sense, yes, I do believe I think that second chances are the refugee of men who fail. But at the same time, I don't believe in just casting somebody completely out because of one bad mistake in their life. Otherwise, we don't be worth nothing.
I'm not saying that you cast somebody out for making a mistake, but let's just be clear about what the mistake is that we're talking about. This guy put a stun gun in the neck of a police officer while they were trying to invade the Capitol building to overturn an election that Donald Trump didn't win and to ignore the will of 81 million Americans. I mean, there's mistakes where, maybe you accidentally do something bad and you apologize. And what if it's something criminal, you serve your time, or if it's something with like a friend or family, you apologize and make up for it, right? There's a difference between that and then like assaulting police officers with stun guns,
I mean, so I think in your last debate you were talking about, and I don't want to get into religion at all, please, for the love of God. But I think in your last debate you were talking about how there are sins and then there are bad sins, correct?
Well, I was saying, sure. Sins.
You were saying like the really bad sins and whatever. But
sure.
You said you were educated on the Bible. I'm a Christian, but like I said, I do not want to get into religion. But it does say in the Bible that every sin is equal, regardless of if you steal a penny or if you murder a man.
Okay, that's crazy to say. Do you think the rape of a child is just as bad as someone telling their kids that Santa Claus exists?
As according to religion, yes. This is religion, though. This is what the Bible teaches us.
Are you religious?
I just said that I'm a Christian, but I'm do not.
Dude, wait, so you think child rape is just as bad as telling your kid that Santa Claus exists?
Telling your kid that Santa Claus exists is a lie, because Santa Claus obviously does not exist.
I know, that's a sin.
Raping your child is a terrible sin as well. As far as
but you just said all sins are equal, so are those sins equal?
As far as how the human eye judges that, no, it's not equal. But how God sees it, a sin is a sin.
So are you saying people are delusional when they think that child rape is worse than telling a kid that Santa Claus exists?
In human eyes, absolutely.
People are delusional for thinking that? That's an insane view.
No, I know.
To say that people are delusional
hold on, Parker,
for believing that child rape is worse than literally telling your kid.
No, they're not. I'm sorry, I said that so ass backwards. You're talking too fast for me right now. No,
apologize.
I think you're okay. You're okay. No, wrong. Fucking child rape is a way worse thing than.
Okay. At least we can clarify that, because
yes, I'm sorry.
The point that I'm making with that is that specifically, you don't believe that just because the Bible says that all sins are equal, that means everything is just as bad as each other, right?
In human eyes. But what I guess my point to that, listen, my point to that is saying that just because this man tased somebody does not make him some kind of terrible martyr. And just because Trump forgave this man does not mean that I'm automatically going to sit here and say, oh, well, Joe Biden was the best thing.
Wait, I have a question. Would you vote for Donald Trump if he didn't ever ask God for forgiveness?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, well, I can give you a C-SPAN clip right now and show you where Donald Trump said that he never has asked God for forgiveness. Do you want to hear this?
Yeah, sure, play it.
Here, you can talk to Harry while I pull it up. I got you.
Okay, you're okay.
What was the last thing you said?
We were talking about basically how we believe, through human eyes, that every sin is kind of different.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with. I agree with what Parker said.
I want to listen to that here in a second. But while he's pulling that up, my only other thing, I know I'm taking a lot of your time.
You're good.
It's kind of actually pretty fun talking to y'all. But anyway, as much as some of the things I think my next thing is LGBTQ. Harry, I'm not informed, and I don't know if it's appropriate to ask, but your sexual orientation lies in that you are gay or straight.
I'm straight.
Okay, you're straight. Okay, somebody told me that this guy named Harry was gay on the news. Anyway, so you believe
probably some MAGA that's trying to insult him.
Yeah, well, I can tell you.
So they're just homophobic.
Yeah.
So, but you do believe in like every man, like if a man wants to love a man, he should be able to love a man.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay. Well, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I hate that, but at the same time, I strongly disagree with it based on the actual anatomy of our bodies. And this is why. I think that men should be with women and women should be with men. It really shouldn't be another way around it, because, in anatomy, we're given a penis. They're given a vagina. Okay. That goes in the other to make life. So why in the hell
what if someone's infertile? Is it wrong to have sex with a woman who's infertile?
That's up to her if she wants to do that or not.
Okay, so then why is it wrong to engage in gay sex?
Well, because we're doing it the correct way. We're doing it the proper way.
Here, I'll ask you this question. Is it wrong for you to eat your significant other out? Sorry, Harry, for all the specifics. Is that wrong?
I sit here and tell you I don't really... I'm not... Yeah, I mean, I like to do that, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that that it's completely wrong, because even then I'm still...
So it's not wrong. So why is it wrong for two women to do that?
Because we're... there again, it goes back to anatomy. We are given a penis. They are given a vagina. One goes in the other.
Yeah. I'm referencing how you're using your tongue, bro. Hey, bro. I'm referencing the tongue, dude. Okay. So can you just respond to that? So again, why is it wrong for two women to do that? Yeah, perhaps. Okay.
Well, man, to tell you the truth, I'm all for hot lesbians now. I mean, don't get me
So
wrong.
it's because
I'm gonna go get some water. I just gotta step aside.
But man,
so all you're saying is that like you're okay with being gay as long as you can sexualize them.
No, I just don't agree with the way that it's termed. I don't agree with the way that everything.
What does that even mean?
So you go from gay
thing of it, $2.
to
Thank you.
this insane. We believe that there are more than 50 genders now, right?
Gender and sexuality are two separate things. Now, in terms of there being many genders, that's just predicated off the society that you live in. You understand gender is socially constructed the same way names are. Like, now listen to this. I want you to listen to this. He was asked about whether or not he specifically has asked God for forgiveness.